Well, we are broadcasting live from the mothership. You are tuned in and listening to Starseed Energy Radio with your host Jonah Bolt. Starseed Energy Radio, where you can always tune in to hear the colors and see the music. Starseed Energy Radio goes live in 3, 2, 1.
What's up, Spaceship Earth? Thanks for tuning in. You're receiving a live transmission from Starseed Radio. It is now time to hear the colors and see the music. I'm your host, Jonah Bolt. Welcome to the show. Today is Tuesday, October 7th, 2014. I can't believe it's October already, and the time is just flying by. We got a great show, got some news updates and stuff going on for you today on the hour. On the first part of the show, we have our very own Ryan Matthew Dernick talking about some earth changes, some more updates on the Ebola outbreak. We also have a solar eclipse, a super moon, the blood moon, going off tonight and tomorrow. We're also going to touch on the Mexican violence going on the border, little ISIS updates. And in the second half of the show, we have Jamal coming on, doing his Spirit Chill session. Last week was an amazing session. We took some callers, so if you have any questions for any of the guests or for me at any time during the show, you can call the station 800-313-9443. Again, that's 800-313-9443. And then also in the show later on, I'm going to go over a couple articles that I posted myself. I just posted on the Twitter feed and also on the Facebook page, which is Quantum Entanglement Creates New State of Matter. Great article I posted. Another one, physicists teleport quantum state of photon to crystal over 25 kilometers away. Another article, Earth's impending magnetic flip. And last, what is reality? Quantum mechanics upsets science view of reality. Well, we know that because when you compare quantum physics and quantum mechanics to the science that they're teaching everyone in school and have been teaching for hundreds of years now, totally cancels it out in terms of when you get the stuff to the quantum level, the old, gravity up and down, left and right, just does not work. Quantum physics and quantum mechanics goes into the way deeper science than what science does not want to look at because there are no answers for it. And people like to have answers on things out there. So if people don't have answers, then they get frustrated and they're like, don't believe it. So with that, Ryan, how are you today? Welcome to the show.
I'm okay, Jenna.
You're okay. What does that mean? Go into a little bit of that. Did you have a late night?
No, it's just I work, dude, a lot, and I know you know that is like a job that I really didn't in any way go to educate myself for, which I'm sure a lot of people out there in the audience totally relate with.
Yes, Ryan does. Just a side note, Ryan does work his tail off. Ryan works 75 hours a week or more at a job he totally does not like, but he has to because he has to pay bills. And if you're a regular American out there and you feel caught in a job working 9 to 5, you can hear Ryan's car door beeping in the background. Call the station, 800-313-9443. If you feel trapped and you feel just working 9 to 5 is not your thing and you just can't figure out a way to break out of it, call the station. I got a few options for you. Call the station. But Ryan, lots of news happening, lots of things going on. Let's jump with the Earth changes, man. Lots of things happen around the planet. What can you tell the listeners today? What's going on with the Earth? Mama Gaia.
Mama Gaia has been active. There's been a couple of earthquakes. As you know, that there was the earthquake in Alaska a couple weeks ago. More recently, there was a 4.3 in Harper, Kansas, which was definitely related to fracking. Aside from that, there was a 2.9 in San Bautista, California, a 6.0. Just happened today. A large 6.0 earthquake happened in Huayuan, China, and 5.3 happened in Iquique, Chile, happened in Holm, Iceland, a 3.3 in Alaska, and a 4.8 in Tao, Chile.
Wow.
Other than the earthquakes that have happened recently.
So earthquakes are going off right now around the planet, basically.
Exactly, and there was almost a 6.0 just recently in Chile as well. So there's a lot of earthquake activity going on. And actually, in other news that they've actually released a couple days ago, scientists are coming together and kind of coming up with a theory that there's possibly a volcano season, and started seeing patterns collectively over the Earth, and how there possibly is an actual, like, geologically speaking, a volcano season, because you see the Bardabunga in Iceland, in the Philippines, Papua New Guinea, all these eruptions going on, in Japan, on Take. And so there's a lot of these eruptions going on globally. We should just say not a season uptick globally in seismic and volcanic activity. But what they're saying is the reason for this is what we have alluded to previously, is the gravitational pulls of the sun and the moon. So just how the sun and the moon, the ballet that they do between each other, will pull on oceans. And you have tides from full moon, from what we're going to have a supermoon eclipse, which will happen tomorrow, as you know, Jonah, known as blood moon. Just as you have those.
What does that supermoon mean? I know you're going to like the electromagnetic properties of it. When a supermoon and a big moon happens, how does it affect people? How does it affect us? Because they say, crazy people come out when the full moon.
Well, just how the solar activity is known to possibly affect people's moods and hormonal balances. The supermoon does the same thing in affecting people's moods. And also when a full moon's out, the crime rates are actually higher. So you could say that that's just because it naturally has more ambient light at night from the moon. Maybe people want to go out and be more frivolous, or there's an actual deeper rooted meaning to that. But in regards to the volcanic activity, these pulls on the moon from the Earth and the sun and the rotation tilting away from the sun, our planet undergoes these changes that basically will subtly force magma up toward the surface more, and that's why you're seeing the uptick again in volcanic activity globally, is because they think that we're going into the factors that the Earth is rotating constantly, and that we're in a flux. So where the axis is tilted slightly, it's pulling more on the Earth's mantle and causing an uptick in not only volcanic activity but and so that they're studying that, and in concert with that, they've just in the last couple of days drilled a 1.3 kilometer hole into the Alpine Fault in the southern part of New Zealand. And what they're trying to do is predict and see the inner workings of the Earth. And a global team of 100 scientists and engineers began this project, and it is basically to get enough knowledge, the inner workings of how you can see movement deep in the Earth before an earthquake at the surface, to better help with advanced warning systems, which, as we said yesterday, will only give you 10 seconds advance warning, but that maybe it will give you enough time and leeway to get, under a sturdy structure, or to go outside of a building so you're away from falling glass, debris, and such that happens, especially.
Well, when I hear more holes for new testing and stuff, I'm just like, great. Another thing to strip the planet of fracking and minerals and stuff like that. It's just crazy. We don't need any more holes in the planet. We don't need any more drilling. No more fracking. It's been enough already. I think it's been enough. The planet is already crying out in many ways.
Science is like the probe, though. That's how you get get data. That's the way of gathering data. Unfortunately, is we have to dig into the mud. We got to get our hands dirty, so to speak. But no, I totally agree with you. The fracking should cease, but we definitely should further learn how the Earth as a whole behaves, so we can better anticipate things in regards to our society, such that are living atop on a rotates at 16,000 miles an hour. We are on an Earth spaceship, so to speak.
Absolutely.
So
Spaceship Earth is full speed ahead.
Yeah.
And we got lots of other updates. We're going to take a quick commercial break, Ryan. When we come back, I want to touch on the Mexico gang war stuff going off down there. I mean, we know about the fast and furious operation with the CIA. We're just sending mad guns to the cartels and things are popping off. So let's touch on that, make people aware of that stuff. So hang on right there. Take a quick commercial break. Here's some more DJ Scalar. We'll be right back. Starseed Radio. What's up, Spaceship Earth? We are back live on the air. We're at our new time for all the listeners out there that are new to the show. We are now 11 to noon Eastern Time, Monday through Friday in our new time slot. We have Ryan Matthew Dernick joining us from bellweatherpost.com. Check out Ryan's always put up amazing articles, or you can check starseedradio.com. We also have his feed up there, as well as my Twitter feed, and also we have a live tracker feed from around the world. And also, got to take a second, Ryan, to thank all the listeners out there for supporting the show. In 162 countries download the Starseed Radio on iTunes. It's just amazing. So thank for all the support out there over the last 4 years. And Ryan, it's awesome how the show has grown, and it's just getting bigger. So we're doing the right thing. We're spreading the awareness. So let's jump into the Ebola updates, dude. What's up with Ebola? What's going on with Ebola?
Yesterday, which I didn't get into, they said earlier in the day that Ebola, high risk, it'll reach UK, France, and the rest of Europe. It had 75% chance by the end of October. Well, come full circle by yesterday evening, a Spanish nurse contracted Ebola. First transmission outside of the afflicted region in West Africa. This is showing that just the fact that probably there's been so many people traveling from West Africa coming in contact that someone maybe at the hospital, unbeknownst yet, has Ebola. This lady came in contact with them at the hospital in Spain, and that's how she contracted it. So you could say that there's a lot of people under the radar right now that, because it's been communicated, they have symptoms. They don't know if maybe those symptoms are correlated to Ebola, or maybe they're just having a flu, or maybe they.
And we talked about this. People in South Africa are being turned away because they don't have enough even manpower to handle the outbreak. That's what people understand. There's people fleeing and leaving the country because they're not accepting them in the hospitals. People are sick and they're going to the hospitals. They're like, no, we can't take you. Go back out to the communities. That's why people are fleeing, because the hospitals are turning people away that possibly have the virus Ebola.
And this individual, she was part of the medical team that was treating Manuel Garcia Viejo, the priest who died September 25th from Ebola. Okay, so that, of course, she was in contact with the individual that came from West Africa, a priest. He was afflicted with Ebola. They tried to treat him. What happened? And now you're seeing how this possibility could repeat itself in hospitals. That the individual from West Africa that came through the United States, he's now over in Dallas. He's in a hospital. They're not doing proper quarantining procedures to control and contain Ebola. You have to quarter off a large area, and you have to make it pristine, and hazmat suits have to be totally sealed. You can't have any kind of openings at all. And I just think that you're seeing it where what's happening is you're having them go to the hospital in Dallas. You're having this other individual, the cameraman in Nebraska, he's getting treated up there. So you're kind of like, yes, these are the Nebraska cameraman's an American citizen, but the Liberian gentleman, you're almost like you're transmitting Ebola through our transportation and travel. And that's why that they've been thinking about maybe we should do a light travel ban, like not allowing flights out of West Africa. That would be a good idea, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
great idea. Because then you would stymie the spread of Ebola. And
why would they want to stop the spread of Ebola?
I know. I mean, and when you can actually go and Google this, that there is a patent by the United States government for Ebola. It was in 2009. And of one of the many, the few actually, I should say, patents on Ebola vaccine, which, let's keep in mind, vaccines actually take way longer to beta test until you release it to the general public.
Of course. So let's say one more time for the listeners, Ebola has a patent on it. Yeah. The actual virus itself was taken out as a patent.
You can
so
Google
if you don't think this is man-made and you don't think they're making money off this, you're crazy.
Exactly. Because it's all about crisis. You make the problem, you come in with the solution.
Well, we know the pharmaceutical companies are one of the largest lobbyists. They're also embedded with the chemtrail operation because they've been known to spray certain populations and areas to sell them vaccines because they get them sick by spraying them. Part of the chemtrail operation. One of the
aluminum dioxide's good for you. Okay, those don't do anything.
Give me some more sodium and barium from the sky. Fill me with metals. Fill me with metals. It's like even my own stepfather, and you, Brian, you know my stepfather, he suffered from immune disease earlier this year that almost killed him because he had so many heavy metals in his body. And the doctors and everyone, they couldn't figure out, how do you have so many heavy metals in your body? Well, he's always outside jogging and playing tennis out in the chemtrails.
And not only that,
come on.
Most people don't realize that most of your antiperspirants have aluminum as the main ingredient.
Oh, yeah,
Aluminum
Old
zirconium.
Spice. That ain't Old Spice. That's that new fragrance called sodium dioxide underarm deodorant.
Yeah, it has the aluminum zirconium as the main ingredient in Right Guard Extreme, and everyone's like, oh, the strip. Yeah, the strip. The largest organ on your body, people, is your skin, okay? So let's introduce it right to your lymphatic system. Let's put that right under your arm. There you go, aluminum right to your armpit.
I don't even use deodorant anymore. Once I learned about what deodorant contains in it, fluoride toothpaste. I mean, I have non-fluoride toothpaste, but like underarm deodorant, I don't even buy. All of it has that stuff in it. You're better off just using some. We got to find organic stuff because. And
then before we run out of time, let's talk about the Graves. Graves, as you know, in Mexico, there were students that went missing recently, and 43 students that went missing recently. And what this shows is that there's just an out-of-control gang war going on in Mexico, as we know, and I'm sure we've helped to destabilize it with Eric Holder, the former Attorney General, fast and furious, trafficking guns over into Mexico to further destabilize it. So maybe indirectly we affected this outcome, but unfortunately, the parents of 43 students missing since September 26th, and now they find a mass grave. They have not yet released whether or not the mass grave is connected to those missing kids and students that were
doesn't take a rocket scientist. We're fueling that war because it is a war. If people don't know, the war on drugs, want to call it, but we're the ones who sent the guns down to the Mexican cartels, all the AR-15s and rockets and stuff. I mean, it's all U.S. made. Where do you even think they get that stuff from? They don't make AR-15s in Mexico. We've been supplying them. I mean, that's the Fast and Furious. If you don't know what that is, check it out. Google it. Educate yourself.
War is a tremendous business, as you know, Jonah. And as Dwight D. Eisenhower, one of our best presidents and one of the greatest generals of the military industrial complex, even more into the military industrial complex, saying that they're the greatest threat to a sovereign society and to our natural inherent freedoms that we are given here in this country, because the business is war. Okay?
Oh yeah, it's like our presidents owning stock in Halliburton and then starting a war in Iraq and other ones. I'm not going to mention any names.
Bush. Exactly. And now you see the parallels between Bush and Obama in regards to how they're practicing their geopolitical campaigns in regards to drone strikes, because there's no difference. The president is just moving the ball forward. Whether you go on the left or the right paradigm, whether it's a Republican or a Democrat, it doesn't matter. That ball is moving forward closer to the end zone for the globalists. That's it.
Yeah. And real quickly, Ryan, we have about a minute left of time, 2 minutes. Let's talk about on ISIS update. We know that Australian Special Forces are now on the ground. They're around Baghdad. What's going on with ISIS?
Okay, yeah, the Australian forces are on the ground in and around Special Forces, keep in mind. So they're not just the general forces that are going into there. And this is in concert with I look at it, and I'm sure you agree, the fledgling airstrikes that have been going on, because the problem is you don't have anyone on the ground to paint certain targets, specific targets. So they're kind of, even though we have very advanced weaponry and very advanced avionics and warplanes, it's still hard for us to strategically and precisely hit the right target. And that's why some of the times that we've hit targets, we're actually hitting our freedom fighters that we're trying to support, and we aggravate them, and then you get the ball rolling to where eventually some of them will sympathize and join ISIS.
We know this from Pakistan, Yemen, all the countries we bomb. We always hit civilians. Remember, they're fighter jets with big bombs. You don't just take out a car or like an apartment. You take out the whole damn block. That's the problem with things. But anyways, Ryan, thanks again for coming on the show. Check out bellwetherpost.com for Ryan's latest news and updates. An excellent reporter, always in the middle, always updating everything. So Ryan, thanks again for coming on the show. I'll have you back mañana tomorrow. Have an amazing day. We'll be right back. Here's some more DJ Skip. listening to Starseed Radio. Thanks again, Ryan, for coming on the show and up to the latest news and updates. Check out starseedradio.com for all the latest news and updates. You got the Twitter feed on there. Like us on Facebook. Also, check out the YouTube channel. We also have the Android app at Amazon.com. You can also download the app on iTunes.com, so check out our downloads. And now we're going to the next section of the show, which is Spirit Chill Session with Jamal from West Coast side of Cali, which I will be out leaving Friday. We're going to be doing live broadcasts across the country. I'm leaving for Denver on Friday. We'll be broadcasting next week from Denver, then to Los Angeles, then to San Francisco, then to Atlanta, then to Asheville, all within 2 weeks doing a 5-city tour. So it's going to be going off. And with that, Jamal, thanks for coming on the show. How are you, star brother?
Hey, brother, blessings, man. All good, and to welcome all those to this form of Spirit Chill, which is all about looking at shamanic and spirit-based ways to ease body pain, ease tension, ease mental disorders, all the things that affect us from the environment, especially the social environment and the matrix that we live in. You know, what alternatives do we have besides white coat medicine, as they call it? You know, besides popping a pill. And,
prescription meds, basically.
Talk about CBD, man.
That's right. CBD is so important, and when we talk about marijuana, CBDs, hemp. I mean, hemp is just an amazing 50,000 products can be made for hemp, yet it's illegal. We all know why. They don't want that information, that technology get out there because it would make other things obsolete that they have vested interest in. So hemp is not allowed. And if you have any callers out there that support marijuana, support CBD, call 800-9443. That's 800-313-9443. So Jamal, tell us about CBDs. What exactly is that?
Well, CBD basically is so there's various properties that are found in marijuana, in the plant. The psychotropic, you know, the stuff that gets you high, you know, gin and juice, have to back your cup down. That's the THC. And those act differently on the brain. You know, they put you into an altered state. But the benefits of the CBD is that there's no psychotropic effects, meaning you're not going to get the high, but they are anti-aromatic, which reduces nausea and vomiting. They're anti-convulsant, which suppresses seizure activity. They're antipsychotic, that help with psychotic disorders. They're anti-inflammatory. They combat against inflammation in the body. They're antioxidant, so they combat the neurodegenerative disorders. They're anti-tumoral and anti-cancer. So this here is like the healing of the nations, you know, as Bob Marley called it. It's here, and there's the science to prove it, you know. They're also antidepressant. I personally manage manic depression. You know, I go into states of euphoria where I want to stay up for weeks at a time and work on something, and then I'm distracted and work on something else, you know, and then something
I'm the same way. I'm up and then I'm way down. Yep.
Yeah, you know, something hits me socially and emotionally.
Most of us are.
You know, I need to take off to Costa Rica for a few weeks, not speak to anybody, and sit in the rainforest. So, what has been helping me show up in life? What has been helping me be a single parent and a good dad to my 2 kids? What has helped me manage some relationship difficulties, manage some financial challenges, manage my own personal bullshit that I sometimes put myself through, is this CBD. I personally use Care by Design. Listeners can check out carebydessigncalifornia.com. It's based out of Northern California here, and I tell you, the science behind this, Jonah, is destined to be on the same level as, you know, the light bulb and electricity, but for, you know, on a medical level, the ability to take the neuroreceptors, and it's almost like reweaving and restitching parts of your cells that have been torn and damaged, and just miraculously reconnecting them so that you can live a healthier life. That's what CBD is all about.
And this also goes into, what I've been talking about for the last couple weeks is shungite, the stone shungite, and CBD, shungite. There's minerals here on the planet that help us with everything you could possibly think of. HIV, cancer, on down. These minerals, the CBDs, these things here on the planet from Mother Earth, from Gaia, are here for us to use to help with dis-ease. So people that go to the pharmaceuticals and go to the doctors and, do all this stuff, that is not the correct route. You need to go organic. You need to go health. You need to use a stone. I mean, shungite, just like you're talking about, has been known to stop the growth of HIV, stop the growth of cancer. CBD, stop the growth of cancer. I mean, there's things you could do. Alkalize the body, stops the growth of cancer. Hemp oil stops the growth of cancer. There's many cures for cancer out there. This is the information we need to get mainstream. CBD is a really good shot at taking it mainstream because now so many states are making marijuana legal. We have 7 states now. It's on the ballot for Florida here in ballot. I mean, so we see these movements moving forward. So I definitely agree with you. CBD has a really good shot and momentum behind it to really go mainstream. So I'm all for it out there. Anything that cures any disease, go for it.
I just want to say I appreciate the gift of the shungite necklace that you gave me at Shambhala. Over the course of the next, the weeks following that particular festival, there were some challenges and some stresses that came to me, and I remember having that piece of stone on my neck. It felt like I had like a piece of the moon on me, man. It was just like the ability for me to speak my truth, the ability for my heart to be calm during some highly stressful situations. Everything that we have that we need for our psyche and for our body is here on this planet. The Goddess has put here on this planet. Shungite, CBD, I want to request, I want to suggest that listeners go to carebydesignCalifornia.com and check out the 5 different sprays that they have, these cannabinoid oils that they helped my mother-in-law, live 3.5 years longer than she was supposed to live. She was using the cannabinoid sprays and the topical oils and doing plant-based medicine and taking Epsom salt baths and really reweaving the story she was telling about herself by using alternative medicine. They had given her 3 months to live. That turned into 3.5 years. And she lived a beautiful 3.5 years, with her grandchildren, my kids. And it was because this plant medicine, this plant-based medicine and the science behind it, gave her the opportunity to lengthen the amount of time that she was going to breathe on this planet before, transcending and moving on. So,
and you said something real important too, which is the science behind it, because a lot of people that even listen to this show, they don't understand a lot of what we talk about or new words or, the science behind it is good because people need to see that. People need to read it. People need to, they need to hold it. They need to, that's how people are programmed. It's like, we need to see it to believe it. So the science behind CBD is out there. There's a lot of it. Same thing with shungite, won a Nobel Peace Prize for the scientists that found the fullerenes, in 1996. 1992, the New York Times did an article on shungite, how it stopped the growth of HIV in laboratory. I mean, there's lots of information on studies on it, so people can look this stuff up. It's not that we're making it up or it's word of mouth. We're talking scientific studies, very, very, not even just regular ones, but independent scientific studies, because we know a lot of the universities and things like that, they do not release information because they don't want the public to know. So a lot of private scientific studies have been done. There's just a ton of information out there, so people just need to educate themselves. Don't believe what we say. Look up what we say. Do your own research and learn it for yourself. We're talking our own truth, our own experiences from these products and from what we did. Like you said, the shungite, when you held that shungite, you felt something from it. That's why I give shungite to as many people as I can, all my friends. I mean, because when you feel this stone, you feel the energy from the stone. And that's important now because it gives people that experience that we all have and we all feel, which is what we're talking about.
You know what I love about it, man?
That's what's it. Go ahead.
I love that black. I love that it's black, because we all have black in the middle of our eyes, and that connects us to this planet, that connects us to the ancient continent of Africa, the continent of Kemet. We were all there in Kemet learning chemistry and alchemy and astronomy, building the Sphinx, 26,000 years ago. And the church and the industrial complex separated us for thousands of years away from our shamanic roots. But now with Care by
Design,
coming back.
It's definitely coming back. Jamal, hold on right there, and we'll be right back. We've got to take a quick commercial break. We're joined by Spirit Chill Session with Jedi Mal. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. You're listening to Starseed Radio. We're joined by Jedi Mal. We're talking about CBDs, marijuana, the stuff that really helps and heal people. We see that becoming popular across the United States here, as 7 states already have legalized it. Now, CBD is in a certain type of cannabinoid, the cannabinoid that you cannot get high from, but the CBD has lots of research and lots of things to back up the science behind it, which is very important, which we were just talking about before we went to break. Now, Jamal, you gave us some information where people get more information on CBDs, which is the website, but what can people expect when they start using CBD in terms of, you've known people that take it, do they feel a difference? I mean, what can people expect when they start taking CBD?
Well, one thing for me was, I started decreasing my use of actual marijuana, smoking it and ingesting it about 2 years ago, because I was finding that, getting high and being in that altered state, and then, getting sleepy and getting tired, it wasn't allowing me to show up for life and be a productive, member of society. And one of the things that CBD seems to offer is a natural protection against the marijuana high. In fact, numerous studies have shown that it acts to it reduces the intoxicating effects, such as the memory impairment and paranoia and things. And so one of the things that I found is that a little spray under my tongue, I use the 4-to-1 personally from, like I said, the Care by Design, California. They have 5 different sprays there. But for me, the 4-to-1 and the 8-to-1 act really, really great. I get a mellow sense of. I also get an alertness, and I'm able to put a filter. I've found personally between the information that I'm taking in and then my reaction to that information. Meaning that, like in that movie The Matrix, where it's almost like time stops, and Trinity and Neo are able to look and say, okay, I need to go this way, and then they get back into the reality flow and do what they have to do. What I've found for me is, instead of coffee, instead of something to perk me up in the morning, like stimulant like coffee, which you have a down cycle after a while, I use yerba mate, Guayaki yerba mate, and I use CBD, a little CBD spray. And I want to point something out too. If people want to go to cbd.org, they'll find information separate from the Care by Design product, because I want people to be informed that are listening. ProjectCBD.org has a ton of great information on there. In fact, one of the articles on the news feed, it says proponents of medical marijuana prohibition have insisted that cannabis must remain illegal in several states to protect America's children. How ironic that today thousands of families are seeking marijuana oil to protect their children from deadly diseases. So just the oil from this plant is helping people as well. And all the information is there on ProjectCBD.org.
That's great. And when we talk about, these CBDs, we're talking listeners out there that suffer from chronic illness, cancer, all these things. These medicines, again, coming from natural elements on the earth, are really here to help us. And we see, even in mainstream, I even know people that are doing crystal bowl sound healing in hospitals now. And I know people that are doing Reiki and yoga with like veterans. So it's good to see not just CBDs but other healing methods being used in mainstream. I mean, to have crystal bowls being played in a hospital for patients in comas is to me a breakthrough that people are even opening up to, like, yeah, even the frequencies and sound waves from crystal bowls can heal someone of cancer or disease. You know, and when we talked about ancient Egypt, that's what we used. We talked about this yesterday. The sound healing bowls, the vibration, you know, the music of the spears, what, you know, these ancient people, the pharaohs, you know, knew about. They knew this. They were highly educated, highly advanced, and they used this stuff for their benefits. They used the sound healing, the frequencies, and the minerals, and they knew this stuff. And this is just old information, Jamal. You know that we're just bringing back to the main airwaves. It's like, hey,
I'd like to say,
go ahead.
I'd like to say it wasn't they, man. It was us, because, you know, if the Sphinx is 26,000 years, that means all of us at some point were incarnated in ancient Kemet. And so our knowledge and awareness of that fact is just us remembering the things that we knew back then, you know, and that's how
Absolutely.
I like to think of it. I want to point something out too that's very simple that people do every day. They do. It's taking
Absolutely.
a shower or taking a bath. Do you know that alternating your shower between hot and cold? You know, I say my ABCs in as cold water as I can, and then I flip it to as hot as I can, and I say my Aleph Bet, which is my Hebrew alphabet. And I do that religiously in the morning, and getting the blood to and from the surface of the skin, that's also a shamanic practice that can increase and add to the vibrancy of your day. You're feeling stressed, you know, you're feeling upset, you have that conversation you didn't want to have, you open mail and you may not have the money for the bills. Go take a hot, cold shower and see how much better you feel. If you have a bath or you're near Shinsen, go jump in some salt water. Make yourself an Epsom salt bath and see how that salt will remove the negativity that you're feeling internally. You know, these are shamanic practices that our ancestors, that we grew up with as human beings long, long ago, and now it's time for us to reincorporate these into our existence.
Absolutely. Very, very well said. And it's so important when you say jump in the ocean, and I say this a lot in the show, jump in nature, take your shoes off, go plant your feet in the grass and literally feel what's going on. Even the listeners out there, you've never done that or haven't done that lately, take off your shoes, go outside right now or after the show, put your feet in the grass, close your eyes, take some deep breaths, and see what you feel. I guarantee you're going to immediately feel more relaxed. We all know about earthing. When you walk on the planet Earth, feet to the mother Gaia, to Earth, you basically are releasing stuff back into the Earth, and we're harmonic with the planet. You need to do that. It helps resonate you. It helps just put your whole electromagnetic field into balance. That's what walking barefoot does on the ground, earthing. You know, it's like we're meant to do that.
Hey man, something me and my roommate and my kids have been getting into is we go barefoot in the evenings to Rago Park, which is a beautiful park in Sebastopol, and we get the frisbee out, man, and we just have a blast tossing that frisbee. We got the circular frisbee with the hole in the middle, and sometimes we catch it on our heads or our feet or our arms. You know, my daughter's taken a stick out there and caught it with a stick, barefoot running in this grass. You know, it's just the way we connect to Mother Earth, the way we honor the plant-based medicine, the way we honor the water that we wash and that we drink and that we cook and that we use to exist. All of these things are going to be the way we uplift ourselves and thereby uplift humanity. You know, I wanted to read just a couple of the conditions that CBD cures off of ProjectCBD.org.
Go. Well, we got about 30 seconds left.
Okay. AIDS, Alzheimer's, anorexia, bipolar, cancer, depression, diabetes, glaucoma, heart disease, inflammation, irritable bowel, kidney disease. The list goes on. I really hope that that listeners out there check out ProjectCBD.org and CareByDesignCalifornia.com and get some information on what's the leading edge of healing.
And that's it. Get some information. That's all we want to do is spread awareness, get this information out there to people. You can also check out starseedtechnologies.com. We got the shungite up there. We're doing lots of stuff with the shungite, and we've been selling a lot of it. And we're going to be starting really soon to have an 800 number where people can call up and get free shungite, because we just want to get this mineral out to people, just like CBDs. We want to get it out to people and help heal. You got to help heal yourself first in order to help heal the planet. Jedi Jamal, thanks again for coming on for another Spirit Chill session. We'll have you back on next week, and I will see you soon in San Francisco, Star Brother, in about a week.
Man, Hotep, my brother.
That's what's up. Here's some more DJ Scalar. Again, keep it real out there. No fear. We'll see you tomorrow, starseedradio.com. Call the station, 800-313-9443. If you feel trapped and you feel just working 9 to 5 is not your thing and you just can't figure out a way to break out of it, call the station. I got a few options for you. Call the station. But, Ryan, lots of news happening, lots of things going on. Let's jump with the Earth changes, man. Lots of things happen around the planet. What can you tell the listeners today? What's going on with the Earth? Mama Gaia.
Mama Gaia's been active. There's been a couple of earthquakes. As you know, that there was the earthquake in Alaska a couple of weeks ago. More recently, there was a 4.3 in Harper, Kansas, which was definitely related to fracking. Aside from that, there was a 2.9 in San Bautista, California, a 6.0. Just happened today. A large 6.0 earthquake happened in Weiyuan, China, and a 5.3 happened in Iquique, Chile. Happened in Holm, Iceland. A 3.3 in Alaska. And a 4.8 in Tao, Chile.
Wow.
Other than the earthquakes that have happened recently.
So earthquakes are going off right now around the planet, basically.
Exactly. And there was almost a 6.0 just recently in Chile as well. So there's a lot of earthquake activity going on. And actually, in other news that they've actually released a couple days ago, scientists are coming together and kind of coming up with a theory that there's possibly a volcano season, and started seeing patterns collectively over the Earth, and how there possibly is an actual, geologically speaking, a volcano season, because you see the Bardabunga in Iceland, in the Philippines, Papua New Guinea, all these eruptions going on, in Japan, on Take. And so there's a lot of these eruptions going on globally. We should just say not a season uptick globally in seismic and volcanic activity. But what they're saying is the reason for this is what we have alluded to previously, is the gravitational pulls of the sun and the moon. So just how the sun and the moon, the ballet that they do between each other, will pull on oceans, and you have tides from what we're going to have a supermoon eclipse, which will happen tomorrow, as you know, Jonah, known as the blood moon. Just as you have those.
What does that supermoon mean? I know you're going to the electromagnetic properties of it. When a supermoon and a big moon happens, how does it affect people? How does it affect us? Because they say, crazy people come out when the full moon.
Well, just how the solar activity is known to possibly affect people's moods and hormonal balances, the supermoon does the same thing in affecting people's moods. And also when a full moon's out, the crime rates are actually higher. So you could say that that's just because it naturally has more ambient light at night from the moon. Maybe people want to go out
And last, what is reality? Quantum mechanics upsets science view of reality. Well, we know that because when you compare quantum physics and quantum mechanics to the science that they're teaching everyone in school and have been teaching for hundreds of years now, totally cancels it out in terms of when you get the stuff to the quantum level, the old gravity up and down, left and right, just does not work. Quantum physics and quantum mechanics goes into the way deeper science than what science does not want to look at, because there are no answers for it. And people like to have answers on things out there. So if people don't have answers, then they get frustrated and they're like, don't believe it. So with that, Ryan, how are you today? Welcome to the show.
I'm okay, Jenna.
You're okay. What does that mean? Go into a little bit of that. Did you have a late night?
No, it's just I work, dude, a lot, and I know you know that is the job that I really didn't in any way go to educate myself for, which I'm sure a lot of people out there in the audience totally relate with.
Yes, Ryan does. Just a side note, Ryan does work his tail off. Ryan works 75 hours a week or more at a job he totally does not like, but he has to because he has to pay bills. And if you're a regular American out there and you feel caught in a job working 9 to 5, you can hear Ryan's car door beeping in the background. Transmission from Starseed Radio. It is now time to hear the colors and see the music. I'm your host, Jonah Bolt. Welcome to the show. Today is Tuesday, October 7th, 2014. I can't believe it's October already, and the time is just flying by. We got a great show, got some news updates and stuff going on for you today on the hour. On the first part of the show, we have our very own Ryan Matthew Dernick talking about some earth changes, some more updates on the Ebola outbreak. We also have a solar eclipse, a super moon, the blood moon, going off tonight and tomorrow. Also going to touch on the Mexican violence going on the border, little ISIS updates. And in the second half of the show, we have Jamal coming on, doing his Spirit Chill session. Last week was an amazing session. We took some callers, so if you have any questions for any of the guests or for me at any time during the show, you can call the station 800-313-9443. Again, that's 800-313-9443. And then also in the show later on, I'm going to go over a couple articles that I posted myself. I just posted on the Twitter feed and also on the Facebook page, which is Entanglement Creates New State of Matter. Great article I posted. Another one, physicists teleport quantum state of photon to crystal over 25 kilometers away. Another article, Earth's impending magnetic flip.
Well, we are broadcasting live from the mothership. You are tuned in and listening to Starseed Energy Radio with your host, Jonah Bolt. Starseed Energy Radio, where you can always tune in to hear the colors and see the music. Starseed Energy Radio goes live in 3, 2, 1.
What's up, Spaceship Bird? Thanks for tuning in. You're receiving a live